आँखों में रोशनी, जोश है दिल में भरा, गहरे तूफानों में हम ढूंढे रास्ता। राहों पर कांटे हो या चाहे अंगारे हो, रुकना नहीं है हमें रब का वास्ता। लड़ेंगे भिड़ेंगे गिरेंगे उठेंगे, ये दे दी हमने खुद को जुबान। मुसीबत को ऐसा हम पंजा मारेंगे, घुरा के देंगे ऐसी ललकार। डर के आगे दहाड़, मैं शेरनी चढ़ लेंगे हर पहाड़। मैं शेरनी
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Indulge. My name is Aisha. Today, ahead of Amit Masurkar's film Sherni's release, Amazon Prime Video dropped a new song. The music video features 4 real-life women achievers along with Vidya Balan. These 4 women have achieved in their respective fields irrespective of the obstacles and challenges that they've faced. And today, joining me are these 4 women along with the Sherni of Shernis, Vidya Balan. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So good to see all 5 super achievers together on the same platform, and also part of this music video which I watched earlier today when it was released. I think it's just fantastic. It has really motivated me and pumped me up to really go out there and do things. So it's really good to see all of you. And I would like to start off by asking Vidya. Vidya, Sherni already, the trailer has received so much positive response, right? And now also this song. What really, drew you to the film, to the story? What was the idea that appealed to you?
I think the fact that, I'd never imagined that someone would actually tell a story about the jungle. So it's not a story set in the jungle, it's a story about the jungle. And I get to play a forest officer in this. So it was a completely unfamiliar world to me, unfamiliar territory. And therefore, there was a certain freshness to the story. I was excited at the thought of shooting in the jungle. And the fact that, when the film is called Sherni, but when I read the character of Vidya Vincent, I felt that she's not strong in a very obvious way. The way that we see strength, especially visually portrayed in films or in the media. She's someone who's she's very reserved, she's very reticent, she's very withdrawn, and yet she has a strong mind, she's strong-willed, and has great integrity, will stand up for what she believes in. So I thought that was, she is nurturing, which is why she feels that way. She feels protective about the environment. She's in the right job, obviously. And I thought this is something that I'd like to do.
Okay. Interesting, Vidya, very interesting. Also, taking a cue from the thing that Vidya really likes to do, what she's doing, Ishna, you are a very popular, face on social media. And the magic that you create with the hula hoop and, wearing a sari, it's really like so different. And, everybody wants to ape you, but I think they fail miserably. But also this morning when I was listening to you during the conference, you were saying that it took a long time for you to be confident to come out and actually acknowledge the fact that you're an artist and people should take you seriously. So is it a very heavy price that, women end up paying for being who they are and what they really want to do?
Some women, yes, I'd say that. In my case, I also added that I do have the privilege of having like really wonderful parents and a family that's very understanding, or actually very progressive in their thoughts. And so, no, they're like right now they're proud of me for pursuing what I want to do as well and getting to share what I have to do. But in terms of I mean, straight out of college, so many of my own classmates were married off, and they have kids now, which is um, uh, for me, like, it's unbelievable, because we had all these plans together in college that we do this, we do that, and this is not something that's I went to Lady Shri Ram College, which is like one of the best, and even then, we see that women aren't getting to pursue what they really deeply want to, and so there's a lot of struggle and fight to come to that as well, and a lot of times it would mean that it comes at a cost of something.
Also, Natasha, when I was listening to you speak in the morning, sharing your story, your personal journey, and what you've been through, I mean, it's quite heartbreaking. I've never heard anyone come out like that and tell strangers what you've been through. It's not easy, definitely not. We kind of hide even little things that happen in our lives. So how long did it take for you to accept the way you are? Because you said you were about till up to 20, and you actually watched one of Vidya's interviews, and that was the moment when you realized that what am I doing with my life. So it must have been a bold step to just come out there and talk about it. Where did you get this courage from?
I want to say through trauma because I wanted to come out of it. But honestly, um, I had a really bad breakup. And because I had the breakup is when I realized, because that's when my anger came up, my envy came up, my everything came up. And I realized at that point of time that, okay, we need to shift this, because I was every day, I wouldn't get out of bed for like 6 months. Did not comb my hair. I didn't eat. I was just like barely living. And that's also when I realized, there was that switch when I was just like, do I want to continue living my life like this forever? And I feel like that shift of consciousness made everything else change, because I was like, okay, I need to go to therapy. I need to start reading again. I need to take or make. And again, I have, again, like we all discussed, I had the privilege that my parents were okay with me going to therapy, and that too at a very young age, because I went to therapy when I was 10, and they were fine with that. So when I said I'm going to therapy and I need to take medication, my dad was like, maybe you need to get married. I was like, no, I'm not happy by myself. I don't think I'm going to be happy with another person. I'm going to make the person miserable. So that's where things started shifting, is when I realized deep inside that this needs to change. I cannot be living like this anymore, because I ain't living at all. So that's when the change happened. And then we are living in a much more conscious shifting of consciousness world right now.
Hmm. Interesting, Natasha. Mira, you've really like kind of broken stereotypes, I guess, because when you think of a racer, the only image that comes to our mind is of a man or a boy who's really passionate about cars. And so, where did it all begin? Were you like really crazy about cars, or was it somebody in the family who kind of imbibed you with this passion?
I would say it was just in the blood. My dad has always been really passionate about speed and cars. In general, my whole family is crazy about cars and everything. So we started a go-karting track in our city, and I used to look at my brothers drive, and they would be competing against each other. They would be racing, and I would be just like sitting there and watching them. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to go on the track and race with them. And the first time I ever sat in a go kart, I actually went and straight hit the wall. And I was so scared. I was just 8 years old. And I was like, okay, this is dangerous. Let the boys drive. But again, I started seeing my brothers, and I was kind of jealous after a point that, okay, I want to get back. So I started learning again slowly. In the few months, I started getting better and, beating my brothers after a point while I was racing with them. So my dad asked me if I wanted to get into, professional racing. And at that point of time, a 9-year-old child doesn't really know that, what professional racing is. I just knew I get to travel around the country. I get to drive cars, and I get to, miss school, obviously. That was the only thing. I was like, okay, let's do this. And then I went to see one of the races, and that's when I saw that there's no girls out there. So I asked my dad, there's like two different categories, because like every other sport, there are like males and females competing separately. So he was like, no, if you're gonna race, you're gonna race with the boys. And that was the point where I was like, this is it. I want to go beat the boys. I want to race with them and normalize the fact that girls can race too. So yeah, that's how my journey started.
Wow, wow, that's quite interesting. Okay, Trinetra,
Hi.
hi, you're someone who's well known in Bangalore as well. A lot of people I spoke with last evening, they were like, wow, you're speaking to Trinetra. So tell me something. You were speaking again earlier today about how difficult it was to just, convince people about who you are, your identity. And somewhere,
Yeah.
when you're a transgender and there's a thin line between respect and being mocked,
Hmm.
how did you manage that? What was your comeback to people who in the garb of respecting used to make fun?
I personally don't think the line between respect and mocking is thin. I think there's a world apart between the two, and people, if they say otherwise, they're just kidding themselves because they are transphobic. In other words, I guess what I'm trying to say is, see, there was a time I used to try and convince people, "Acha, please understand me, please accept me for the way I am, give me space to talk." But then there came a certain point wherein I was just like, I'm going to put myself out there, you deal with it. You want to understand me, go for it. If you don't want to, that's your prerogative. I am who I am. And I will put myself out there. And, of course, a lot of people resonated with it in Bangalore and otherwise. So I think for the people who are naysayers, I've just given up on them, because it's like, okay, I don't want to waste my time trying to convince somebody that is committed to misunderstanding me or committed to, just not getting me. And you could be the juiciest peach in the entire world, but peaches are not for everybody. Like, that's just my philosophy on things. So, yeah, I let them live their life. I will live mine.
Okay. Very interesting. And the answers that are coming, it just showcases how different you are from each and every person, starkly different. Your identities are so distinguished. So Vidya, also, tell me about playing the forest officer. And there's a scene in the trailer that I watched where the mother is telling her daughter, that's you, saying, why don't you wear that necklace that I bought for you and look little pretty and all of that. You know, how do you kind of keep yourself away from in real life? You're so glamorous, you're so well dressed and turned out. So on screen, when you're playing such roles where it doesn't need that much of a glamour quotient, where you're just playing the character, is it a bit of a challenge for you to break away from what you are in real life, or is it like?
No, not at all, actually. For me, the opportunity to bring a person alive um, is very, very exciting as an actor. And when I say, each of us is different, right? We look different, we speak differently, we walk differently. So with each character I play, I use tools to make me look different. At least that's half the battle won. And then your mannerisms and your voice and all help you further. But I think that look is so important that I'll go to any lengths to make a character look distinct and to give that character an individuality. So we were just being true to the nature of the job, because I met forest officers and it's really a fuss-free job when you're, especially in the jungle, like, you don't dress up, you're in literally in camouflage and there's no jewelry, there's no nothing. And in the trailer, like you said, it's the mother-in-law who says, why don't you wear some jewelry? And she's like, the mother-in-law is visiting and she says this. And so Vidya Vincent, the character I play, does not really get upset or anything. Again, she deals with things in her own unique way, which is that she just smiles and walks away. But I think here in the jungle, you're not a female forest officer or a male forest officer, Yes, there are very few female forest officers, so we tend to mention the fact that they're female, but otherwise they're just forest officers who are there on a job, and there's no scope for you to really embellish yourself in any way as man or woman.
Okay. This question is to all of you. The space that all of you are in right now, it's where you've achieved and where it feels like it's your comfort zone. But what next from here? What do you guys, Vidya, do you want to start? I mean, do you want to answer this? What do you want to achieve from here on? Because you're such a big name in the industry. You know, people respect you a lot for what you are in real life as well. So many women look up to you. So, what space are you in?
I don't have any set plans. I've never strategized my career. I want to, the way I see it today, I want to continue to act for a really long time, maybe forever, who knows. But besides that, I think maybe with every passing day, I'm getting more and more in touch with myself, and that's all. Um, probably moving towards a more authentic me, and that's the only thing I see happening, because that's something I consciously work towards. I work with a healer, but besides that, I don't have any plans. I just hope that someday I'm completely comfortable with who I am, and I completely love and accept who I am. And that will be my biggest achievement.
Okay, Natasha, do you want to take this?
Personally, I feel like the work will never stop in terms of you becoming better and things like that. I feel like professional work, I feel the universe will put it whenever it has to, and things will come when it has to. And there's no point of me worrying about it or thinking this is going to happen. And as Vidyaji said also, there's no plan. Things will happen, things will happen. But I do know that there are things that I want in terms of, I still want to continue inspiring people. I still want to give people hope not to give up on themselves, whether it is their life, whether it is their body, whether it is their mental health, whatever it is. That's the little bit I know I want to continue striving for, to be that voice for people who feel they can't, or just to give that different perspective, to know that there is so much more out there, and with the privilege that I do have, I can share that. So yeah.
Trinetra, do you want to take this?
Sure, sure. Well, I mean, I'm asked this quite often. Now, how does it feel that, you finished your transition and on the other side of the spectrum? So I always reply to that with, look, my transition is not going to be complete till the day I die. Like every single one of us is in transition. Every single one of us is changing in our own ways. And I will continue to change and grow until the day I die. And I think as far as my life is concerned, something I've been doing recently is acting, and I can't wait for projects to come out. But yeah, that's something I've been trying outside of medicine as well, because I just want to I don't know, seize the day and do everything I can in this lifetime, And yeah, I think fingers crossed that growth continues personally, professionally, in every single way.
Okay. So I'm going to my next question because we're really short on time. How do you all deal with sexism at work places? Have you encountered such things? And how do you kind of say that it's okay to be who I am? Ishna, do you want to take that?
I haven't actually faced sexism through the entire pandemic, I'd say, because I have a company called Poop Flow, and we're an entirely women-led company. The people I'm working with also on a project basis or like collaborating with are again women entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs. The different organizations, artists I collaborate with are female. So to some degree, it's like I've eliminated the men, which is kind of strange, seeing that the sex ratio here is very scary. But yeah, so I think like I do feel like for some to a great extent that my perception has become a bit blurry because of the lockdown, because you don't have to step out and you're not stared at by men because there aren't men on the streets right now. And so yeah, I'm not the right person to ask this at the moment.
Meera, what about you?
Yeah, I would say in the current situation, I don't really. I'm glad that I don't face any of it, because I am in a place where the people around me are just normal with me. They don't really see me as a female racer. They're like, yeah, you're just a part of us. We race together. We chill together. We compete against each other on the racetracks. So I think at least on my side, initially I had to face a lot of it, but I'm at a very good place and things are changing now. And I feel just people are normal with the fact that girls can race. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with what's happening right now.
Vidya, do you want to take this question?
I think sexism exists everywhere. It even exists in us as women. A lot of times we're not conscious of it, but because we've been brought up with certain deep-seated beliefs that are very tough to fight off. So I think when I encounter sexism, sometimes I don't even realize it. In retrospect, I feel like, oh my God, is this what happened? But there are times when I see it and I call it out immediately. And the only answer to sexist is really, the only way to answer sexist is to ignore them and to go ahead and still do whatever, you know. But call it out because sometimes the other person may not be aware. So it's important to call it out. Don't shame them because maybe they don't know any better, but call it out for sure. And yet, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. The world is your oyster.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure speaking with you, interacting with you, and also watching the video that has so beautifully captured each and every individual, you know, in your most beautiful selves. So, and all the best in whatever you're doing. And Vidya, all the best for Sherni. Really looking forward to it. Yeah,
Thank you.
pleasure speaking with all of you.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you.